Stephanie.
And we are
Soul Sisters. Today we are starting a new segment. It's gonna be calling
something cute, and it'll be in the title of this video because we haven't thought of it yet. I don't know.
Okay, ciao ciao.
Moving on. This video is going to be about food, if you can't already tell. We are going to be making my self-proclaimed famous sauce. You can make this meatless or with meat, and today we're making it with meat. You can use ground turkey, ground beef, ground veal, or ground like mix. I know there's like
chicken,
meatloaf mix, ground chicken as well. I don't really recommend ground chicken, not my thing. But anyway, hey, whatever floats your boat. You can make it with any type of ground meat. Yeah, but
it's really good.
But I don't personally like it. So if you like ground chicken, go ahead. But basically any type of ground meat, you can do it. For today, for health purposes or whatever, trying to be like, we have ground turkey. But I did not opt in for the 99% fat-free turkey because then it would be too dry. You do want a little bit of fat in there, so I got the 94% fat? 92. So we got 8% fat in there.
Okay, so first we're gonna say what we have. So first is what is this?
2 cans of crushed tomatoes.
It's very important that you use the crushed tomatoes and not the can that is already made for pasta. I mean, you can.
No.
But it's not gonna taste what we want it to taste.
And not for this recipe at all.
And a lot of you, if you don't know how to make crushed tomatoes, you can buy tomatoes, regular tomatoes. You can boil them and then put them in the food processor, or you can also put them in the oven with foil on it.
Yeah.
And then put them in the food processor.
Yeah.
Just a hint, if you want to, go the long way in the extra mile, you can do that. So you know we're all about shortcuts. Where you go?
I forgot how to do it. Extra, I also have mushrooms. If you want mushrooms. Yeah, but you're mushrooms. Okay. With the heck. Like they just came out of nowhere. Okay.
Alright, second ingredient, it is
actual tomatoes. Plum tomatoes in particular. I like to add that little extra bit of fresh tomatoes in there just because, I don't know, it's my recipe and I like it. So I just dice these up and throw them in there. Next up is onions, which I already chopped. This is half an onion. You can use a whole onion if you love onions, whatever you want.
And that's gonna go in
the food processor.
So there we go. 1. Now, you can use fresh. Again,
let's grab a spoon for that.
It's right here.
Oh.
Prepare. Again, so sometimes we don't have time, but we still want to make delicious food. We have already pre-chopped, store-bought garlic.
Minced garlic.
Yeah. I also have the already pre-minced at home because, again, we don't always have time, so I have it. Okay, so how did you add it? How much?
I added about a spoon and a half of this size.
So about a teaspoon and a half. There you go.
Yeah.
I can't speak today. I didn't try. I promise. This is my first glass of wine. I promise. Okay. Next up, we have already washed and kind of like
dried and
peeled
and not plucked. I don't know. Whatever. Ready Italian parsley. I'm gonna add a little bit of this.
Yeah. Next up,
fresh basil.
Alright, for that,
I'm gonna put only 2 leaves.
But yeah, and then we have our preference. Doesn't have to be yours. Again, sauce, this is the base. But you can add whatever you would like to it.
Yeah.
We're gonna be adding
mushrooms.
Okay? Mushrooms, and we're gonna be adding the
ground turkey.
Okay? These are already pre-chopped.
And washed. Because I'm lazy.
A lot of people will say, you let me know if I'm wrong. My grandmother says you never wash mushrooms.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of people say it as well.
You just wipe them if anything, but these are pre-washed by the grocery store, so I'm just gonna let it go.
You're gonna put it in the processor?
A little bit.
Oh, but you're gonna put some whole.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Just a little bit of mushroom in there to give the meat a little bit of more like hardiness when you cook it, when you brown it.
Okay. So, and last but not least, again, salt and pepper. Because we have to have salt and pepper.
Yeah.
So yeah, so now without further ado, we're gonna get that mixing and then we're gonna get it on the stove. I'm a little old-fashioned. I like to chop everything, but since it's her recipe, I'm letting her do whatever she wants.
I thought some of it got in my wine.
Oh, beep!
Typically, like in the past, before I had the food processor, I chopped everything myself as well, but I mean, it just makes things so much easier because it's so quick. And yeah, for the busy moms or busy wives or busy single people. Alright, so here I have the seasoning and then a little bit of olive oil that I'm going to drizzle on an already hot pan. A little bit more. We like olive oil here. And then I'm going to grab a spoon and just kind of spoon this out. And it is on high heat right now, and then you just lower the heat later on. Want to get everything nice and hot. Hear that sizzle? That's what you want to hear. Don't let none of this go to waste. Lick it off. Brown that up a bit, and then we're going to add the meat. And then while that actually is happening, you also add salt and pepper to it. So it gives flavor.
Okay, so now we're gonna be adding the ground meat.
Just like kind of chop it up with the spoon a little bit. Salt and pepper. So now we're gonna add in the mushrooms, and we're just gonna add them whole because for the picky eaters out there that wanna pick them out, they can do that.
Shout out to my husband. That's it?
Ooh, I need this. It's hot. Throw that in there. Let's just go with all of them, right? Why not?
I mean, I can never have enough mushrooms.
Me neither. For the extra large ones, you can just break it, and of course you want to add just a little bit more salt for those mushrooms. A little bit more pepper. So, I also forgot to mention that I add a little bit of Spanish flair to my meat sauce by adding a little bit of the cumin to the meat while it browns. I would also add dried oregano at this point, but I don't have any. So if you want to at home, you can absolutely do that. So I'm just gonna add just a touch. You don't want to add too much because cumin can be a very overpowering flavor.
But the smell is very good.
So good. Especially in meat. Cumin is just like, it's like it was made for meat. Then at this point, I'm also gonna go ahead and add the tomatoes that we chopped up. Just gonna add those in there, just like that.
Okay.
Mix these in. And then I'm gonna also add a little bit more parsley and a little bit more basil, but I am gonna save some to add to the crushed tomatoes, fresh, a little bit later on towards the end of like the sauce's cooking life. So that's a little bit more basil that I chopped up smaller. A little bit more parsley. so you don't get splattered.
Did you add water to it?
Nope.
No? Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna let that simmer for about 5 minutes before I add the rest of the parsley and basil, and then for about another 10-15 minutes, and it should be ready.
Okay, so guys, this is the way it will look like the final product, or the how do you say it, like
The final result.
the final results, the final look, the final whatever. This sauce, you can use it with anything. You can use it with spaghetti, rigatoni, penne, whatever you want to use. This is great. You can freeze it. If you want to freeze it, you can freeze it in portions and then just defrost it and use it. It's a great quick way of making dinner during the week.